Welcome viewers, wherever you are following our broadcast. This is how I'd like to officially welcome you to Inside District number 13 on the District Premium platform, Foca Online TV. On Inside District number 13, we bring issues as it unfolds within the district. We place premium emphasis on issues District number 13 is confronted with. On Inside District number 13, we afford the opportunity to market dwellers, street vendors, keke riders, taxi drivers, school principals, school proprietors, students, and the disadvantaged youth. I am your host, Mohammed Vani Kanan. Join us every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Inside District number 13 on Foca Online TV. Welcome viewers, wherever you are following our broadcast. This is how I'd like to officially welcome you to Inside District number 13 on the District Premium platform, Foca Online TV. On Inside District number 13, we bring issues as it unfolds within the district. We place premium emphasis on issues District number 13 is confronted with. On Inside District number 13, we afford the opportunity to market dwellers, street vendors, keke riders, taxi drivers, school principals, school proprietors, students, and the disadvantaged youth. I am your host, Mohammed Vani Kanan. Join us every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Inside District number 13 on Foca Online TV.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. It's good to be back here after a few days of week. We are heading towards the weekend tomorrow. It is good to be back again. To all of our viewers, please share our live video. Please share our live video. Share our live video. Share the live video. Share the live video. And don't forget to drop in your comment. This is the program Inside District 13 where Mohammed Vani Kanan sits as your presenter here to bring you about happenings in District 13 and that of Liberia at large. So this program is not only focusing on District 13, but it also focuses on the border politics of Liberia as well as the border politics of District 13. This is why it is called Inside District 13. So I'm privileged to be seated in the driving seat. Mohammed Vani Kanan is not here, but he has authorized me to actually air the program in his absence. So feel comfortable with me as we bring you all of the major happenings relative to the current political landscape of our country, Liberia. Again, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. Keep sharing the live video. 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 And let us take a short break. When we come back, we bring you the important discussions that we will be having on.
Welcome viewers, wherever you are following our broadcast. This is how I'd like to officially welcome you to Inside District number 13 on the District Premium platform, Foca Online TV. On Inside District number 13, we bring issues as it unfolds within the district. We place premium emphasis on issues District number 13 is confronted with. On Inside District number 13, we afford the opportunity to market dwellers, street vendors, keke riders, taxi drivers, school principals, school proprietors, students, and the disadvantaged youth. I am your host, Mohammed Vani Kanan. Join us every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Inside District number 13 on Foca Online TV.
So the National Elections Commission in District 13 has officially announced Edward Pape Flomo, who happens to be the incumbent as the winner of the legislative election that was held in District 13. So the second person is Cornelia Krah-Tukpai of the Opposition Unity Party, and she came second. Thanks to Madam Cornelia Krah-Tukpai for conceding defeat, even though the race was such a tough race. But however, Honorable Edward Pape Flomo was overwhelmingly elected by the people of District 13. So we want to say, Honorable Pape Flomo, we want to utilize this occasion to say congratulations to you for your re-election. So there are lots of things that you have to do, especially in the wake of reuniting the people. As per the recent election that was held on October 10th, there were 16 candidates. Including you, the incumbent lawmaker, who competed in this political race. But however, the people decided to actually prefer you among the 16 other candidates. So thanks to Cornelia, this is what I don't want to believe. I stand to be corrected. This should be her third time contesting. We also want to say keep soaring, keep competing in this political race. One day, perhaps the Liberian people will actually look at you and say, "Yeah, this lady has actually been fighting for this particular job for a very long time." It happened in the case of the late Alexander Sompong. The people realized that Alexander Sompong has competed for this particular position for a very long time. Even though at the time the people have made this particular resolution, Alexander Sompong was no more, but the vast majority of the communities in District 18 were overwhelmingly resolved in electing Alexander Sompong, who sometime contested on the independent position, and sometime one of the last elections he ever took part in, where he contested on the ticket of the Alternative National Congress headed by Alexander Cummins. So this is where we are. Is good of air. Please share our live video. For those of you who are watching, don't forget to drop in your comment. This is the program Inside District 13. So today we will also talk few issues relative to the ballot politics of District 13. We'll also be highlighting few of the promises, few of the developments made by incumbent Representative Edward Pape Flomo. So many thanks to him. As I said earlier, I want to say congratulations. The Focal TV family says congratulations for your re-elections. So by next year, January, you will sign a brand new contract with the people of District 13. And we are hoping that this time around, the people of District 13 can get more of what you have done since you were elected. Since you were elected on the by-election that took place after then Representative Sir Harry Joseph ascended to the position of as Senator of Montserrat County. So he is still completing the term, the unexpired term that Edward Pape Sir Joseph created. So this is how we want to go strictly into the issue. So as I key developments and gains, progress made by Edward Pape Flomo as it relates, but I think that style of politics needs to be reformed. That style of politics, that nature of politics actually needs to be changed. So I think what he's supposed to pay key attention to is the issues about playing his oversight role as per what the Constitution gives, or the responsibility given to the task of being a representative. So we live in a country where a vast majority of the people are not very educated to a vast majority of the people are not very educated to what the representative are meant to do. So we will try to educate our people. What is the essence, or why do we elect these people to those positions? So sometimes the contemporary nature of the politics in Liberia allow these people to actually do greater than what they're supposed to be doing. You understand? But that is the kind of trend of politics that has already been indoctrinated within our Liberian setting. So as such, we are out to live by what we see. So let's go. Let's just take this short break. When we resume, then we will bring you uh, the list of conversations we actually be diving into. My name is K. Lyndon Togba. For those of you who are watching, please share our live video. Please share our live video. Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Togba. My name is Perfina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like with no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you.
Welcome viewers, wherever you are following our broadcast. This is how I'd like to officially welcome you to Inside District number 13 on the District Premium platform, Focal Online TV. On Inside District number 13, we bring issues as it unfolds within the district. We place premium emphasis on issues District number 13 is confronted with. On Inside District number 13, we afford the opportunity to market dwellers, street vendors, keke riders, taxi drivers, school principals, school proprietors, students, and the disadvantaged youth. I am your host, Mohammed Vani Kanem. Join us every Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the program Inside District number 13 on Focal Online TV.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. So the National Elections Commission and the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Madam Debbie Etta Brown Lassanan, as part of her responsibility earlier on, she announced all of those representative candidates who was actually competing for, some of them were actually competing for re-elections. However, there were other people who were actually competing for re-elections, but they weren't successful. The likes of Bob Fox Timber, the likes of Solomon George, and the list go on and on and on. Even in Grand Bassa County, I'm being told that the wife of Chief Zanzan Kawa, Mary Kawa, was defeated. She was defeated in the just ended elections. She even demanded that there needed to be a recount, and based upon the kind of recount the date, yet still the process of the recounting process never went in her favor. It happened to Moses Ascara Gray, who is famously referred to in the coalitions of democratic change and in the politics of Liberia as the general. He too was also defeated by Unity Party candidate Prince too. So that's the beauty of politics. There are other lawmakers on Capitol Hill like Edward Papi Flomo, incumbent representative. He was also seeking re-election. He was even prior to the announcement made by the National Elections Commission, he was more than confident. He was more than confident. At one point in time, I attended one of his political program, and he said, "My re-election is actually sure." So actually, he knew that was he was actually going to be re-elected based upon the work he has done so far. But one thing I can say here, because uh, during the course of the election process, our media institution, the Focal Line TV, our management prioritized this particular electionary process in District 13. The essence of our participations or our involvement into the process was to ensure that we become to unearth all of the malpractices relative to the ongoing process. We were actually working tirelessly to ensure uh, that the people of District 13, their will at the ballot box can actually be reflected. So at the management of Focal Online TV, they need expedient and prudent enough that we actually prioritize such a very unique project. But one thing I have observed while we were on the field uh, of the law, because the district is actually divided uh, from Chocolate City, Junction, as far as Billemite community, taking into consideration Topo Village, the Iron Factory, the Plainfield, the Battery Factory, and other parts of this community, parts of New Jimmy Carroll community. The Jimmy Carroll community, those are the places I have observed that overwhelmingly voted. It was a kind of, to me, it was a kind of unanimous decision that they have made, especially trying to promote the re-election bid of Edward Pape Floma. But for me, I see it from a two different angle. So I was thinking that as opposed to the previous elections or the by-elections in which Edward Pape Floma won this particular portion, based upon the kind of frustrations a lot of people from this particular, the inhabitants of those people, like people I personally encounter, I have been here where some residents of Battery Factory have said, we will not vote, we will not re-elect Edward Pape Floma. But I don't know as to how Edward Pape Floma has since been able to repair those dissatisfaction with the people, try to shift the dynamics of dissuade the people from being disappointed. I can recall the likes of Emmett Toga, who once said that he was not going to support the re-election bid of Edward Pape Floma. I was even shocked at the grand campaign launch of Edward Pape Floma. I saw Emmett Toga there, and I saw a list of other people who have since been critical about the re-elections of Edward Pape Floma. I was so shocked. And I was given the podium. He consulted with young people. He consulted some of the people who believe in him and to actually promote. But for me, as I said earlier, I see it from a two different angle. The people of the lower belt in District 13, the lower New Georgia, comprises of all of the districts, the Topo Village, the Battery Factory, the Iron Factory. I believe that one of the reasons why they didn't put them to still vote for Edward Pape Floma was based upon the fact that they are actually afraid that if they actually allow this particular power to slip off and go to the upper New Georgia, it will be very, very difficult. But because they have been the one complaining over years, I can recall when then Representative Sir Joseph was in power, was still serving as representative of District 13. I can recall that a lot of people complained that why is it that lawmakers are always coming from the upper belt of New Georgia? Why is it that the lawmakers are always coming from that portion of the district? So I can recall in the by-elections, it was not on the basis of the kind of money Edward Pape Flomo was being able to splinter, even though some political pundits could argue that he actually financially induced the people to politically admire the kind of work he do based upon the finances he splintered around doing the course of the by-elections. But again, then the question is that nowadays people are becoming even more sensitive as it relates to the trend of politics in our country. So it happens in the case of Darius DeLong from the Collaborating Political Party, and that of Thomas Fowler. When Thomas Fowler was actually contesting for the senatorial seat, I can recall Thomas Fowler was one of the senatorial candidates who spent all of the money. At some point in time, he was even referred to as an ATM machine, but how be it, despite he spent all of those money, he was being heavily and massively supported by the ruling establishment. But yet still, the people were actually resolved, especially in electing the person of their choice. So some could argue that why the elected Darius DeLong was based upon the unity that existed within the opposition political parties at the time. That could be another reason why he was being rejected at the ballot. But because the margin was so wide, the margin was actually wide. So let's see. So it means that the people of Lower New Georgia still believe that Edward Pape Flomo has done pretty much. He has actually done well. He has actually done his best, especially because I was very inspired when Edward Pape Flomo, taking into consideration he is only completing the unexpired term created by James Representative Cy Joseph, who is now the senator of Mount Serrata County, and he was able to accumulate that particular impact. I have seen a list of projects like in Topo community. He came in Topo community. He brought water faucets. He was able to bring a transformer within Topo community. He went to the battery factory community. He was able to improve the only sport facility in that part of battery factory. He electrified that particular area that even during the course of the night, they can play football. During the course of the day, they can actually play football. He has been able to change the narrative on ground there. He went to other parts like the Judy Bryant Bridge, which was dedicated by him quite recently at the time he was actually doing the campaign season. A project worth over 320,000 United States dollars. That bridge project is just so long. But again, I expected, considering the fact that Edward Pape Flomo was able to implement such a very gigantic project, taking into consideration the money he spent in that part of New Georgia. I was thinking that the people of New Georgia was actually going to vote for Edward Pape Flomo based upon the kind of development, based upon the impact of that particular project. But it didn't work that way. I saw Cornelia Kratokwa taking the lead in parts of Lower New Georgia. I saw Cornelia Krat, like some of the places I was actually excited, like the St. Michael area, the William Gilbert Poulet High School, the Bishop Albert D. Miller High School, the Wakat Conan High School. I saw Cornelia leading Edward Pape Flomo. So, but then the election is over. The electionary process is over. Then this is about time that we need to reconcile people, even though there were lots of people who may not disagree with you. You being a leader, that responsibility is you shoulder the responsibility of trying to reconcile the people and tell them, put aside your political differences, you may not have voted for me, but once I have been announced as the leader of this community or this particular district, this is at the time that you need to pull up your political differences and bring and join hands in hands so that we can be able to move this district further. We can be able to move this district further. So I think Edward Papi Flomo has a very huge responsibility attached to him, especially in the wake of reuniting the people after a major election. So thanks to Edward Papi Flomo and thanks to the people of District 13 for their massive turnout during the just ended electoral process. I want to believe that they actually did well as opposed to the by-elections in which there was reports of violence in District 13. But now the narrative has actually changed. The residents of District 13 were able to peaceably organize themselves. They went to the pool, they voted their leaders, and that particular decision, their decision they exercised at the ballot box was actually reflective of the kind of leader they choose. So that is where we are. That is where we are. I think the people need to be congratulated. I have seen Edward Papi Flomo. He has since congratulated residents of District 13 for voting for him. Yeah, thanks to all of the other candidates who participated in the process, the likes of Solomon Chipo, the likes of Cornelia Crowd, the likes of Oscar Menlo, the likes of Abraham Salif, the likes of Princess Gatewood Kennedy, and you name them, Sunasi Keita, and the list go on. 16 persons, including the incumbent representative. If we add all of them together, we had about 16 persons competing for the highest seat in the district. So every one of them went through the process, and hoping that one person will actually be selected. But the people of District 13 decided to choose Edward Papi Flomo to continue what he has done so far. So that is where we are. That is the beauty of politics, and that is the beauty of politics that cannot be ignored. So over the last few days, the National Election Commission has since been releasing results, and they have since been cognizant of the Constitution as part of their responsibility. Also, the National Elections Commission is the only institution by law in the Republic of Liberia that is clothed with the fundamental responsibility to actually announce results. So I can understand, even though there were a lot of parties, observers who were deployed, and those deployed to actually monitor the process. There were a lot of party observers who were deployed to actually monitor the process. So from the onset of the process, there have since been media institutions have since been announcing preliminary results. But one of the things I always underscore from all of those media institutions that were always announcing the results is the fact that they continue to say, we do not have the authority. We do not have the authority to actually announce results. So wait patiently for the National Elections Commission. But since the 15th day, yesterday marked the end of the 15-day process, or the 15-day time frame that was actually allotted to the National Elections Commission. Thanks to David Etta Brown Lasana, even though there were other dissatisfactions or taking into consideration the delayed in the publications of the FRR, which is the final voter roll. But however, we also want to utilize this occasion to thank them. So on the 24th of October, the National Elections Commission put up a statement at their daily press briefing, and so I will read this particular statement and begin to analyze some of the issues relative to what we are seeing. So they say Republic of Liberia National Elections Commission, Tupman Boulevard, 9 and 10th Street, St. Paul. Chair briefing note, Daily Press briefing, October 24, 2023. And James M. Fomia Conference Hall, NEC headquarters, Badam co-chair and fellow commissioners, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Liberians, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the headquarters of the National Elections Commission and to the Commission's daily press briefing. In today's briefing, the Commission will announce results of the elections in Nimba District number 4, Leo Bio Lotuo, and the final nationwide results for the presidential, senatorial, and representative outcome of the 10th October 2023 general elections. Members of the press, as you are aware, on October 10, 2023, Liberians went to the poll to elect their leaders, including the president and vice president, 15 senators, and 73 representatives. Election day, October 10, 2022, was characterized by a record of high turnout of 1,949,155 voters, which constitute 78.86% of 2,471,617 total registered voters. So the total number of people who voted in the exercise was 1,949,155 voters. Were those voters that actually participated in the just ended process. And the percentage it constituted is 78.86%. 78.86% of the total of 2,471,617 total registered voters. So the total number of registered voters in Liberia, as recorded by the National Elections Commission after the deduplication exercise and all the other exercises that were done by the National Elections Commission, is 2,471,617 registered voters. This huge turnout is unprecedented. It means that since they have been conducting elections in Liberia, this turnout that is saw on October 10, 2023 was strange in Liberia's modern democratic election history, and is due in part to the Commission's successful transition from the optical recognition system of voter registration to the use of biometric technology for the registration of voters, which produced an excellent final registration rule for the October election. The Commission knows that this election attracted much attention from 10,000 national, regional, and international long-term and short-term observers that were accredited by the Commission to observe the elections. These observers were deployed across the 15 counties of Liberia and took stock of how the National Elections Commission implemented international standards and electoral best practices in conducting the elections in Liberia. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, following the close of the October 10 poll, the Commission in its daily press briefing informed Liberians and stakeholders about the post-elections day happenings, ranging from disruptions of tallying processes across the country to electoral malpractice by some temporary staff recruited by the National Elections Commission. Specifically, at the Monrovia Tallying Center at the Samuel Kanya Dose Post Complex, 5 temporary staff allegedly involved in malpractices were arrested by the police. Similarly, in Grand Cape Mount, 4 NEC temporary workers were arrested by the police for alleged electoral malpractices. In both cases, they were remanded into custody pending court trial. The names of these temporary workers are quarantined in the NEC database as they will not serve in any future elections. In Nimba County, District number 4, 2 polling places in precinct both will witness the disruption of the counting process, with some individual made away with the ballot boxes, damaging their content in the process. This led to the rerun of the 3 elections at the 2 affected polling places in that precinct. Despite these and other challenges, the Commission knows the completion of counting tally and collocations of the result from the 20 October 2023 in Bio-Lotuo. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, before proceeding with the announcement of the results, the Commission expresses thanks and appreciation to Liberians for voting in such a huge number. The Commission also extends thanks to the United Nations Ambassadorial Mission to Liberia, the African Union, ECOWAS Commission for providing technical data and IT support, as well as logistical and other equipment and materials, which strengthen the capacity of the National Elections Commission to deliver on these elections. These partners are appreciated for their intervention through various mechanisms, including the National Steering Committee on Election, which advocated for the Commission's readiness to conduct the 10 October poll. The Commission also applauds the Ministry of Justice, Joint Security for their steadfastness in maintaining the peace. Yea, your proactive and reactive responses to incidents that could have permanently disrupted the electoral process, but for your timely intervention. To the temporary staff as well as NEC employees and the NEC management team, we thank you for your diligence in the preparation and execution of your duty during the conduct of the 10 October polls. To owners of property that were used as voting prison, the Commission remains grateful to you for your patriotism and selfless love for country. The Commission also applauds the general support of international, regional, and local organizations, including Democracy International, Leon, LISA, ECC, and to other 10,000 national, regional, and international observers who observed the 10 October 2023 presidential and legislative elections. The Commission's final commendation goes to political parties and candidates generally for their peaceful participations in the 10 October polls. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, yet now at the presidential, senatorial, and representative outcome of the elections in the 2 polling places in precinct Bo-Luntuo electoral district, Nimba County. Electoral district number 4, Nimba County, Members of the press, the Commission have completed the nationwide tally of votes with 100% of all polling places reporting. The following is the final presidential election outcome. The result of the 10 October 2023 poll showed that the ticket of the Congress for Democratic Change obtained the highest number of votes, 804,087, constituting 43.83%. 43.83%, followed by the ticket of the Unity Party, which obtained 796,961 votes, constituting 43.44%. I will read that number again. 796,961 votes, constituting 43.44%. However, ladies and gentlemen of the press, Article 83B of the Constitution requires that for any presidential ticket to win outright on the first ballot, that ticket must acquire at least 50% plus one of the valid votes. Article 83 further states that where no presidential ticket obtains at least 50% plus one, the two presidential tickets that receive the highest number of valid votes shall participate in a runoff election to be held on the second Tuesday following the expiration of the town approved for in Article 83B, Article 83C, with the result of the October 10 poll showing that no presidential ticket obtained 50% plus one vote. A rerun is hereby declared to be held on Tuesday, 14th of November 2023, between the two tickets that obtained the highest vote. The presidential ticket of the Coalitions of Democratic Change, led by George M. Weah, and the presidential ticket led by Mr. Joseph Boakai. So that is where the National Elections Commission political campaigns for the October 14 runoff is hereby declared open today, October 24, 2023, and shall close on the 12th of November 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, you can find the list of all winners of senatorial and representative elections online at results.netliberia.org. So, since the 24th of October, the National Elections Commission has announced with immediate effect the campaign exercises leading to the runoff election. So the two parties that are actually in the runoff is the Coalitions of Democratic Change, headed by George Manning Weah, and Unity Party, headed by Joseph Boakai, Joseph Human Boakai, or you can refer to them as the UP Alliance. You can also refer to them as the UPWA Alliance. So let's look at Article 83A. Then we'll come to Article 3B. Then we'll go as far as Article 83C. So we'll look at those things. Voting for the president, vice president, members of the Senate, and members of the House of Representatives shall be conducted throughout the Republic of Liberia on the second Tuesday in October of each election year. That is to say, the second Tuesday in every election year. That is when we should actually vote. So let's look at the subsection on this. Article 3B. All election of public officers shall be determined by an absolute majority of the vote cast. So if no candidate obtain an absolute majority in the first ballot, a second ballot shall be conducted on the second Tuesday following. The two candidates who receive the greatest number of votes on the first ballot shall be designated to participate in the runoff. Designated, announced, selected, chosen to participate in the runoff. So we now have the Coalitions of Democratic Change, headed by George M. Weah and Joseph Human Boakai of the Unity Party. These are the two political parties that are actually going to the runoff. So here is what I want to say about the process. Here is what I want to actually say about the process. The process is actually open as per what the National Elections Commission has declared campaign open. I think that particular declaration, because we're actually observing the 15 days period, I think it should have actually been after the 15 days period, and not, you can't declare election open after considering the fact that we have not observed the first 15 days period as prescribed by the Constitution. Even though you and your staffers at the National Elections Commission were able to actually speed up the work, and you were able to announce the election results within the course of 15 days or 14 working days period. However, what we expected you to have said, Madam Chairperson of the National Elections Commission, you should have allowed the 15 days as prescribed by the Constitution to actually elapse, and after the 15 days shall have elapsed, then you can declare our campaign open. You can actually declare campaign open. So you declare campaign open on the 24th. So on the 24th was the 14th. Are you getting me? On the 24th was the 14th. So we had the 24th and the 25th. So after the campaign, logically, campaign should have actually been open by the 26th. So now, that was one of the errors. Then another thing here is that, let's take a look at this one important thing. You declare campaign, you declare the runoff to be held on November 14th. So let's calculate. Let's calculate, because you declare campaign open for the 24th, and it said 2 days. You're supposed to give the people 2 weeks to campaign. The two parties should be given 2 weeks to campaign. So let's go. The 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. 1 week. 1 week. On the 31st will actually complete 1 week. So the 1st of November and to November 7th. So actually campaign should actually stop or close on the 6th. Then on the 7th, then Liberians can actually go to the pool. Are we making sense here? Liberians should actually, but I don't know how did you derive the 14th? I'm so much confused here. And a lot of Liberians are actually confused, because this has been one of the most topical issues in the country now. This is one of the most topical issues. And some people are even terming such attitude as a violation of the Constitution. So another people are saying that, the Minister of Finance should provide the remaining money that should facilitate the runoff exercise. So that could be a more justifiable reason for why the National Election Commission of the chairperson was very wise in her decision to have said that Liberians will actually go to the pool on the 14th. But I can recall that you have been speaking to the media for time without number, and you said every other thing needed for the conduct of the election was all, and every other thing needed was all available. So is that something you are hiding under your sleeve? Why should we even go to that extent? Why should we even go to that extent? I want to believe that this process is almost like we are violating the fundamental law of the Republic of Liberia. And the fundamental law must always be respected, as you have always been respecting the law. So let's go back to what I was saying, and let's look at Article 83C. The returns of the election shall be declared by the elections. The return of the election shall be declared by the Elections Commission not later than 15 days after the casting of ballots. The return of the election shall be declared by the Elections Commission not later than 15 days after the casting of the ballots. Any party or candidate who complains about the manner in which the elections were conducted or who challenges the result thereof shall have the right to file a complaint with the Elections Commission. Such complaint must be filed not later than 7 days after the announcement of the results of the elections. You understand? So for those of you who are having issue with the election, for those of you who are having who are not satisfied with how the elections or how the election was conducted in some part of Nima County, I am hearing that Buffer's Chamber is demanding a recount, even though the very first recount he demanded or didn't go in favor, but how be it, he still has some issue. So they say if you are dissatisfied with the election results, right after they have announced the result, you have the course of 7 days to actually engage the relevant authority, the National Elections Commission, to say that I have an issue with the process. So other than the 7-day period, whatever you do, whatever complaint, whatever issue you raise will not be given due diligence. That is what the Constitution is saying. That is what the Constitution is saying. I will read that again. All elections of public officers shall be determined by an absolute. The return of the election shall be declared by the Elections Commission not later than 15 days after the casting of ballots. After the casting of ballots. Any party or candidate who complains about the manner in which the elections were conducted or who challenges the result thereof shall have the right to file a complaint with the Elections Commission. Such complaint must be filed not later than 7 days after the announcement of the results of the elections. So it is very, very clear. Very, very clear. For those of you who are not still satisfied, I'm being told that by some sources that Mary Kawa in Grand Bassa County is not also satisfied with the form and manner in which the election was conducted. So that's the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of democracy. So you have the right, as prescribed under the law, to disagree with the election result. But at the same time, you have a responsibility attached to you. And that responsibility is that you need to actually file in your complaint within the 7-day time frame. So every other thing is measured by time. Every other thing is measured by time. So the national election, the chairperson at the National Election Commission also has a time to actually announce the result. So you saw her; she has since been working tirelessly, and on the 14th she was able to complete her task. And considering the fact that all of the 20 parties all of the 20 candidates that participated in the process didn't obtain the prescribed percentage as provided under the law, so she declared a runoff open between the two parties that have the greatest number. So the two parties that have the greatest number is the Coalition of Democratic Change, headed by the Eastern Bearer, George M. Weah, and Unity Party, headed by Joseph Newman Barker. So that is where the debate is. And you have been monitoring. There have been, since the declaration of the runoff exercise by the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, there have been a series of activities. People are trying to encourage other people to support them in this political venture. Over the last few hours and days, you have witnessed the political leader of the Liberia People Party, renowned lawyer, prominent statesman Tiawan Gunglo, has endorsed the presidential bid of Unity Party Joseph Boakai. He said it was actually a tough decision to make. So as we speak, there has been even more consultation. You see the likes of Besson Gafile. Besson Gafile, former Foreign Affairs Minister. A man, a kingsman from Grand Bassa County. A man who is now a senator-elect of Grand Bassa County. He pledged his support over to George Weah. He said he believed that George Weah is the right person. Likewise, Tiawan Gongo also believed that Joseph Jima Boakai is the best person. He said his decision to support Joseph Boakai presidential bid is based upon the fact that he has made series of consultation with his partisans, and some of them all agree. Many of them agree to the fact that yes, Joseph Boakai is actually the best person to actually support. So we are understanding that in the coming days, that the ICOP, one of the political parties that participated in the election, is planning an endorsement ceremony. We are hearing there are a lot of controversy attached to that. But we are hearing that the majority bloc this coming Sunday will be endorsing the ticket of the Unity Party, the presidential ticket of the Unity Party. We are also hearing that there are some few members within the ICOP who say no, this particular decision is not a decision that represents the collective will of every one of us in this party. So since this is it, we believe that George Weah has done so much well for the Liberian people. Since we were not able to come out successful in this political endeavor, it is a matter of must that we support George Weah too. So all of these things, when you put them together, it beautifies the display, or it beautifies the display of politics, or it beautifies the trend of politics in Liberia. And we hope to see more of these things coming up. For us, some of the things that we are mostly interested in is the fact that let there be peace in this country. And this is what democracy calls for. Democracy calls for the fact that the people can go to the pool and fully exercise their constitutional right. So this is not about whether you disagree. Whether you disagree or you don't want for a particular person to be president. And I want to believe that the National Elections Commission, if Liberian, shall actually go to the pool and choose whoever they want to study affairs of the country. The National Elections Commission should be in the readiness to pronounce that person as the victor of the election. If President Weah wins the election, let justice be served to President Weah. If Joseph Jima Boakai becomes the victor of the election, let justice be served to Joseph Boakai. Let justice be served to Joseph Boakai. You understand? Let justice be served to Joseph Boakai. I think this is where we're supposed to be mostly particular about. This country has gone through a lot. Many Liberians cannot even afford to witness another bloody and senseless war. Many Liberians are not even in a position to do that any longer. So we are urging the folks at the National Elections Commission, even though you have started to receive some level of international commendation over the just ended process. But we are also encouraging you, just as you did when you realized that a particular Stafford was actually working and he has some alignment with a political institution, and you swiftly intervene and dismiss that person. We expect you to follow suit at all times. Whoever wins the process, tell the person, say X, Y, and Z. The Liberian people have spoken, and because the Liberian people have spoken, we are hereby bound by the Constitution and provided by the laws and by the rules and regulations of the Liberian Constitution to certify you as the president of the Republic of Liberia. But to say you want to thwart the will and aspirations of the people after the people have spoken, these are some of the things that arise the most chaotic situation we have ever experienced. So I want to believe that the National Elections Commission and our chairperson to do the right thing at the National Elections Commission in the wake of trying to maintain the peace. So the politicians are now working tirelessly, making maximum use of the available opportunity. But one of the things I can always urge Liberians to do is the fact that even though we may have our political side, but we should always remember that we owe a greater responsibility to Liberia than our personal political interests. We bear a greater responsibility to maintaining and ensuring that we can live in a peaceful Liberia. Liberia is bigger than every one of us. Liberia is bigger than President George Weah. Liberia is bigger than former Vice President Joseph Jomo Boakai. Because Liberia gave birth to every one of us here. Every inhabitant in Liberia who consider themselves to be a Liberian, the country remains more paramount than our interests. No matter our political interests, our political alignment, Liberia is greater than every other thing we do. In Ghana, for example, in other parts of the world, when people go to the elections, whatever the outcome of the election is, they live with it. They live with it. I am not saying that to encourage a fraudulent elections that doesn't represent the will and the will and mandate of the Liberian people. I am saying that Liberians should be willing to accept every other thing that comes out from the elections. Whoever wins, that person bears a greater responsibility to unite the people, because it is within unity this country will progress. It is in unity we will also succeed. It is in unity this country will prosper. We understand that during every political season in our country and every part of the world, the country becomes, or the nation becomes at a crossroad, because you don't expect everybody to show some level of support to whoever is in power. And for some of you who are in a constant habit, whenever you and your friend engage into a political lecture, you go so guata. We think that this is so much condemnable. You witnessed during the close of the campaign by two political institutions, ACOP and that of the CDC. We witnessed a very, very condemnable attitude exhibited by two partisans, people from ACOP and people from the CDC. We believe that their attitude was very, very wrong. Their behavior were wrong. No space for violence should be tolerated in our country, because violence has the propensity of carrying us back to the dark days we experienced. Many Liberians are not even willing to live into a foreign country again, to be considered as a refugee. No one is willing. No one is actually willing. And this is why we need to be fully cognizant that Liberia is our greater denominator. We need to be aware. What affects Liberia affects every one of us. There are Liberians who are residing in the diaspora. They feel so passionate about this country. The likes of Andy Bropla-Jala, the likes of all Liberians who have family members here. Central Witherspoon, and the list go on and on. These people are very, very passionate about our country, Liberia, and they want to see the best. They want to be part of a Liberia where they will be just boasting when they are having a friendly conversation with their other nationals and say, my country also have this. But our country is always recognized with a very negative perception. Is it that we don't have good people in Liberia? We do have good people. Do we have bad people in Liberia? Yes, of course. We have bad people everywhere. But how are we willing to work in the best interest of our country, Liberia? That should be our fundamental concern. That should be our greater concern for now. So tomorrow, my colleague and I will be here, Mohamed Bani Kanin, and together we will bring you the program Inside Good Evening Liberia. Good Evening Liberia. So stick and stay with us. Tomorrow the program will be very, very fascinating because we will be giving our own analysis on the trend and how the runoff will actually hand over who has a greater urge. We all know that President George Weah, who is the incumbent, has a greater edge. But it seems that the Liberian people is trying to put aside these issues about of financially inducing the voters, because it was evidence in the just ended process in the phase one of the exercise. Liberians are more focused on what they can do. They want to see a good society. I'm not saying that George Weah is not providing a very good society. George Weah has done so much for this country too. He has done so much. But I'm not the one here to make a determination as to who should be considered as the next president of the Republic of Liberia. Or there are other projects that President Weah have done. like the tuition-free policies that many Liberians are benefiting from at the state-run university. That is a very, very outstanding achievement under the Weah-led administration. There was fee payment. The WAS fee payment is another way of helping Liberians. It's another way of indicating that power is meant to the people or is shown to the people. So tomorrow we'll talk more of this deal. This is how I choose to call your day. Tomorrow we actually entertain call. For today we will not entertain call. So my name is K. Lyndon Chokba. Thanks to all of you who have been closely following this conversation. And thanks to all of you who have been following this conversation. This is how I choose to call your day.